কুঞ্জ বিহারী গোপী জন বল্লভ গিরিবরধারী গোপী জন বল্লভ গিরিবরধারী যশোদানন্দন ব্রজজন রঞ্জন যশোদানন্দন ব্রজজন রঞ্জন যমুনা তীর বনচারী যমুনা তীর বনচারী জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে 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 কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম রাম হরে হরে জয় রাধা গিরিধারী রাধা গিরিধারী রাধে জয় জগন্নাথ জগন্নাথ জয় বলদেব জয় সুভদ্রা জয় গৌরনিতাই গৌরনিতাই জয় গৌরনিতাই জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় জয় গুরুদেব জয় জয় গুরুদেব নিতাই গৌর হরি বল হরি বল হরি বল।
Hare Krishna, we are now sharing the screen for Prabhupada's Lilamrita. When Krishna Pandit learned of his guest's lone struggles to produce back to Godhead, he volunteered to help with some of the business aspects of the publication. Bhakti Siddhanta Swami was indeed gratified by Krishna Pandit's sincere help, and in appreciation he gave him an addition to his name, Hari Bhaktanudas, one who serves the Lord's devotee. After 6 months in Shipawara, Bhaktivedanta Swami wrote an appreciation in the Temple Sundays book. I am pleased to write herein that I have come to Delhi from my headquarters 1/859 Keshi Ghat, Vrindavan, UP, purely on spiritual mission to propagate the cult of devotional service of the Lord. And I am more pleased to mention herewith that Sriman Sri Krishna Sharma Hari Bhaktanudas has provided me a suitable room for my literary activities. I am publishing an English fortnightly magazine of the name Back to Godhead from this place, and Nal Prem Shobha, of which Sri Krishnaji is the honorary secretary, is arranging for my daily lectures of Srimad Bhagavad. Late Pandit Jyoti Prasad Sharma, father of Sri Krishnaji, was also known to me, and during his lifetime, whenever I used to come to Delhi, late Pandit Jyoti Prasadji would provide me with residential place. His good son is also following in the footprints of his noble father and as secretary of the Nawal Prem Shobha, he is doing good service in propagating Ram Nam all over the city. In neat English script, Bhaktivedanta Swami went on to write that, in his opinion, temples should be used solely for educating the public in spiritual values, and it was his personal mission to organize temples for the service. Temples are not meant for ordinary householders engaged simply in the matters of animal propensities. Those who are actually engaged in the service of the Lord deity, the predominator of the temple, one can only be allowed to remain in the temple, otherwise not. Trying to compose Srimad Bhagavatam at Chipura while surrounded by sometimes noisy families with their non-devotional domestic habits had impressed upon him the importance of using the temple as an apartment house. Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyo Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees, thank you all for joining us this morning. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 22 and verse number 51. So I can read that a couple of times and then other devotees can recite as well. Palam Brahmani Sanyasya Nirvisangaha Samahita Karmadhyaksham Cham Manvana Atmanam Prakrite Param. Phalam Brahmani Sanyasya Nirvisangaha Samahita Karmadhyaksham Cham Manvana Atmanam Prakrite Param. Phalam Brahmani Sanyasya Nirvisangaha Samahita Karmadhyaksham Cha Manvana Atmanam Prakrite Param. Phalam Brahmani Sanyasya Nirvisangaha Samahita Karmadhyaksham Cha Manvana Atmanam Prakrite Param. The devotees, if you want to read this verse, you can read. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam.
Palam Brahmani Shannasya Nirvishangaha Samahitaha Karmadhyaksham Cha Manvana Atmanam Prakrite Paramo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I am also trying.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Palang Brahmane Shannasya Nirvishanga Samahitaha Karma Daksham Cha Mannana Atmanam Prakrite Param.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Phalam brahmani sanyasya nirvisangah samahitah karmadhyaksham cha manvana atmanam prakrite param. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. I
Hare
was
Krishna
trying.
Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Dandavat Pranam. Sitaranjani Mataji.
Phalang brahmani sanyasa nirvishangah samahitah karma dhakshang cha manavan Atmanang prakrite param. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone
Hare
else?
Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu also
Hare
said,
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Do not pronounce.
Phalam Brahmani Sanyasya Nirvisanga Samadhita Karma Daksham Cha Madhvana Atmanam Pragate Param. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, so someone can read the word by word meaning, the synonyms. I'll just try to, I think I've got it here.
Yes, Prabhu, I can try.
I'll just put it on the screen. But it might be a bit small, so if you have the Srimad Bhagavatam, you can read it from there.
Phalam, result. Brahmani, in the absolute truth. Sannyasa, giving up. Nirvishangaha, without being contaminated. Samahitaha, completely dedicated. Karma, activity. Odhyaksham, superintendent. Cha, and Manavanaha, always thinking of Atmanam, the super soul. Prakriti, of material nature. Param, transcendental. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. And someone can read the translation as well.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Maharaj Prithu completely dedicated himself to be an eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, transcendental to material nature. Consequently, all the fruits of his activities were dedicated to the Lord, and he always thought of himself as a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the proprietor of everything.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, someone can read the paper. I actually don't have the paper, and paper is a bit long also. So, someone.
Prabhuji, I am sharing the screen in that case.
Okay, Prabhuji.
You can read it. But Bhagavad Prabhupada ki jai. Life and dedication of Maharaja Prithu in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead served as a good example of Karma Yoga. The term Karma Yoga is often used in Bhagavad Gita. Actually is the first requirement of this, therein Prithu Maharaj giving practical example of what Karma Yoga actually is. The first requirement of proper execution of Karma Yoga is given herein. Phalam Brahmani Sannasya or Dineshaya. One must give the fruits of his activities to the Supreme Brahman, Parabrahman, Krishna. By doing so, one actually situates himself in the renounced order of life, Sannasya. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.2, giving up the fruits of one's activities to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Sannasya. Kamyanam nyasham sannasam kavayo vidu sarva Sannasya by great learned man. Although he was living in a householder, Prithu Maharaj was actually in the renounced order of life, Sannasya. This will be clearer in the following verses. The word Nirvishanga, that is uncontaminated, is very significant because Prithu Maharaj was not attached to the result of his activities. In this material world, a person is always thinking of the proprietorship of everything he accumulates or works for. When the fruits of one's activities are rendered to the service of the Lord, one is actually practicing Karma Yoga. Anyone can practice Karma Yoga, but it is especially easy for the householder who can install the deity of Lordship in the home and worship him according to the methods of Bhakti Yoga. This method includes 9 items: hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping the deity, praying, carrying out orders, serving Krishna as friend, and sacrificing everything for him. Savanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Saranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasham, Shakham, Atmanivedanam, Bhagavatam 7.523. These methods of Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are being broadcast all over the world by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Anyone can learn this method simply by following the examples of the members of the society. In one's home or in a temple, the deity is considered the proprietor of everything, and everyone is considered a deity's eternal servant. The Lord is transcendental, but is not a part of this material creation. The words Prakriti Param are used in this verse because everything within this material world is created by the external material energy of the Lord, but the Lord himself is not a creation of this material energy. Lord is the supreme superintendent of all material creation, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Mayadakshana Prakriti Shuyate Characharam. Hetu anena kunteya Jagad Vipari Vartate. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all the moving and unmoving things, and by its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. All material changes and material progress taking place by this wonderful interaction of matter are under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Events in this material world are not taking place blindly. If one always remains a servant of Krishna and engages everything in his service, one is accepted as Jivan Mukta, a liberated soul. Even during his lifetime within the material world, generally liberation takes place after one gives up his body, but one lives according to the example of Pitu Maharaj is liberated even in this lifetime. In Krishna consciousness, the result of one's activity depends on the will of the Supreme Person. Indeed, in all cases, the result is not dependent on one's own personal dexterity, but is completely dependent on the will of the Supreme. This is the real significance of Alam Brahmani Sannyasin. A soul dedicated to the service of the Lord should never think of himself as the personal proprietor or the superintendent. A dedicated devotee should prosecute his work according to the rules and regulations described in the devotional service. The results of his activities are completely dependent on the supreme will of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. So thank you all the devotees. So very nice verse. This is what Prithu Maharaj did when the four Kumaras had left. We know that Prithu Maharaj is a empowered incarnation of the Lord. He's an empowered incarnation of the Lord. And he also got a chance to hear from the four Kumaras, who are also empowered incarnations of the Lord. And Prithu Maharaj also earlier on, performed yajna, the Ashwamedha yajna, and he performed 99 Ashwamedha yajnas. The Lord was so pleased that he came to give his blessings to Prithu Maharaj. And also, he had brought Lord Indra with him so that Prithu Maharaj could forgive Lord Indra for what he was doing during the Ashwamedha Yajna. He was trying to steal the horse again and again. So now we can see that after the four Kumaras left, what was Prithu Maharaj doing? So after you get instructions, what do you normally do?
Follow
We
it.
apply in our life.
Yeah, we have to apply it. We have to follow it. That's very important. It's not only hearing, you have to follow it. It's very important to follow the instructions of our spiritual master. We have to follow the instructions of the Vaishnavas. We have to follow the instructions of Krishna. And the instructions of Krishna is given in the form of Bhagavad Gita and also other scriptures. And we have to follow the examples of great acharyas who have given us, who have done it themselves, and they have given us the path. But that's why Lord Krishna says, Yad Yad Acharati
Sreshtas Tattvadevitrajam.
Yad Yad Acharati Shreshtas Tatta Devitrajanaha Sayat Pramanam Kurute Lokas Tadanuvartate. So yes, following the acharyas is also important. So after the four Kumaras left, we can see what Prithu Maharaj is doing. Phalam Brahmani Sanyasya. Phalam means the results. For every activity, there is a result. So you do something, you get the result. So, but what was he doing to the results? No. What was he doing? Phalam Brahmani Sanyasya. He was giving the results to absolute truth, the Lord. Brahmani Sanyasya. Phalam Brahmani Sanyasya, giving the results to the Lord. So we have got the right to perform our karma, as Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Which verse is that? Like in which Lord Krishna says, you have the right to perform your activities or karma, but you don't have the right over the result.
So it is 247.
Yeah.
Karmannapadikaraste.
Mahakarmaphala hetukur sangasteshu akarma.
Karmanyevadikaraste sukadachana. We have got the right to perform our prescribed duties. Karmanya eva adhikaraste. Adhikara means the right. So karmanya eva adhikaraste, but ma phalesu kadachana. But you don't have the right over the results. Karmanya eva adhikaraste ma phalesu kadachana. So here he also performed his prescribed duties. You know, he was the king. So we know that there is a dharma for the king. The king has to protect the citizens. The king has to give charity. All those things he did. But the results were all offered to the Lord. Phalam Brahmani Sanyasya. And also Nirvisangaha Samahita. Sangaha actually means attachment. There's another meaning of Sangha. Sangam Asakti. Asakti means attachment. So he was not attached to the result. He was not attached to the results of the activity. Because we know that that is a contamination. Prabhupada, what is Prabhupada saying as a translation? What's the meaning for that word? Nirvisangaha.
Without being contaminated.
Without being contaminated, yeah. So Sangha means asakti. Asakti means attachment. Attachment is the contamination. So Sangha, then Visanga means, very much, too much attachment to the fruits. And we know that anyone in this world, or most people, anyone and everyone, they're all attached to the results. They want to do something and they want to get the results. And nowadays, the young people want the results immediately. And if they don't get results that they expect, and if they don't get it soon enough, they are in so much of distress. They think that you do something, you should get the result straight away. I get my degree, straight away I should get a job. As soon as I get the money, straight away I should be able to build a big house. As soon as I get the money, I should get a nice car. So all the things, because they're all they think that things work the way they expect, and it will happen very, very quickly. But the fact is, it doesn't happen that way. You plant a mango tree, you don't get the mangoes straight away. If you want to have a child, you still have to wait for at least 9 months. So you have to wait. You have to patiently wait. But then again, the result may not come. You may plant the mango tree. What can happen? You may wait even, but the result may not come. Do you always get mangoes in a mango tree?
No, Prabhuji, sometimes it doesn't happen.
Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes, the tree may, before it starts giving fruits, it may dry out. Or something else may happen, maybe some cyclone or something, the tree can be, may not be able to grow to its full maturity to give mangoes. Similarly, if someone wants a child, they have to wait, and it's doesn't always work. Sometimes people want children and they again and again are not successful. So in anything in this world, anything one does, they're attached. There's very much attachment. Visangaha means a lot of attachment. And nirvisangaha means nirvisanga.
Without being attached.
Not being attached. Attachment is actually a contamination in this world. Attachment is very dangerous, and it's a contamination. That's why it needs to be given up. And we can see that even small attachments can give us another birth. We see in the case of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj was attached to
Deer.
deer. He had to become a deer. In the next life, he had to become
Deer.
a deer, just because of attachment to the deer. And Lord Krishna is also saying in the Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Pajayate. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Pajayate Sanjayate Kamat Krodho Bijayate Krodad Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smriti Vibhrama Smriti Vibhrama Buddhi Nasha Pranashti. So Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa, one gets first contemplation, and then Sangasteshu Pajayate. What happens? Attachment develops. Like Ajamil, when he started thinking about this prostitute, of course, first through the eyes, and then started thinking about the prostitute, then what developed? Asakti or attachment. Sangasteshu Pajayate. Sangha means asakti. So it's very dangerous to have attachment. So nirvisanga. Nirvisanga means no attachment to the phal. No attachment to the phal. Sangha means no attachment to the phal. Samahita means
completely dedicated.
Completely no attachment to the phal. Phalam brahmani sanyasya nirvisanga samahita. Samahita, of course, completely. And the other part of the verse is karmadhyaksham. Karmadhyaksham, like we have, Prabhupada has also quoted this verse, which is Mayadhyakshena. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam hetunanana konteya jagad viparivartate. Krishna is talking about my adhyaksha. Who's the adhyaksha? Prakriti, Lord Krishna. Like he's the one who's making Prakriti do the creation. He's that's why I say Maya Dakshina Prakriti. So here one should not be Phalam Adhyaksha. Phalam Adhyaksha. One should be what? Karma Dhyaksha. What's the meaning of this? Karma Dhyaksham Cham Manvana. Manvana means he will always consider, he will always think of himself as
owner of the work.
Karmadhyaksham, that means he has got the right life. Karmani adhikaraste ma tu kadachana ma karma phala heturgu mate sarvasto
Karmani.
karmani. Karmani adhikaraste ma phalesu kadachana ma karma phala heturgu mate sarvasto karmani. So actually that verse actually talks about 4 things. Here the emphasis is on karma and the
results of the activities.
Karma and the phala. So we have karma and the phala, like we have in this one. But of course, in that one, we have karmanya vadhikarasta. You have the right to perform the prescribed duties. Ma phalesu kadachana. What's the meaning of ma phalesu kadachana? You don't have the right over
the results of the activities or what?
Ma karma phala hetu. You should never consider yourself
as the owner of the results.
Yeah, you should not consider yourself the cause of the
activities.
You should not think that because of you something is happening, that I am the cause. Who built the temple? It's me. It was my effort. I collected the money. Who is doing all the seva? It's me. I am the one who started it. So that type of mentality is
attachment, probably.
Attachment. It is attachment. That kind of mentality is also attachment. It is your attachment. You are taking the credit for all the work, because we know that any activity cannot be done by one's own effort. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna talks about adhishtanam cha. There's a 5 things.
Adhishtanam tatha karta karanam cha prithak vidam.
Vividev
cheshta.
Cheshta.
Devo panchama.
Yeah, Devam. The Panchama. Panchama is the Deva. Deva is the 5th one. So Adhishtanam cha karta, karanam cha pritagvidam, vividas cha pritak cheshta, Devam chaiva cha Panchama. The 5th one is the Deva. So any activity anything that is happening, we should not think that I am the cause. Even like sometimes people want to do a lot of things and then they don't, they're not able to do it. Like there was someone who was building this long bridge in America. But before he could complete the bridge, he actually suffered a stroke. Of course, the bridge was later on built by his, still he was, somehow he was guiding with his hand, but he was not physically able to complete. So of course, he provided the guidance by which the bridge was built. But so what we should give up is the mentality that I am the cause. I am the cause. By me, it had happened. So that's why Lord Krishna is saying, "Ma karma phala heturgu, mate sangasta karmani." Also, akarmani, sangastva akarmani. You should not be attached to also. What is the last part?
The last part is about, Prabhuji, that one should not desist from doing his prescribed duty, just fearing the results would be against him.
Yes, they're not. Someone might think, okay, what's the use of doing it? If I may not get the result, it's not only on me. There are other factors. So why was the use of doing it? So we should not think like that, because nahi kaschit chanamapi jatu tishtate karma krit karyate hivasya karma sarva prakriti jarima. What's Lord Krishna saying in that verse?
By operation of the laws of nature, everything is being performed. But
yes, in the nahi kaschit chanamapi jatu tishtate karma. So no one can actually say that I will not do anything, because the three modes will force you to, your nature will force you to perform, because your nature is determined by the three modes. That will actually force you to perform different activities. Nahi kaschit chanamapi, not for a moment even one can stay without performing any activities. So yeah, those are the four things which are mentioned. So you have to do it. You should not think that things will just happen by itself. So you have to still do it. So those are four things there in that verse. But here, in this verse, it is phalam brahmani sanyasya nirvisangaha samahitaha karma deksham cha manvana. He considered himself that he is right. That verse is talking about karmanya eva adhikarasya. Karmanya eva adhikarasya. Here it is. What's the word? Karma adhyaksham, karmadhyaksham, or karmadhyaksham. It is not phaladhyaksham. What is it?
Karmadhyaksham.
Karmadhyaksham. Phaladhyaksham means you have got the right over
the results.
The result. But here it is only karmadhyaksham. You have only the right over the karma. You don't have the right over the results. Results are like we see that in the chaining of the milk ocean. The ocean was chained, of course, to get the nectar. So the demigods and the devatas and the asuras and the devatas, they all got together to chain the milk ocean. But we can see that one group, everything was the same, like same time, same instruments used, same instruments were Vasuki and that mountain. The mountain was used, Mandarachal Parvat, and the instruments like that Vasuki was the rod, chaining rod, and of course Lord's feet was used as the yes, bro.
As tortoise was this support.
Yeah, the support. Yeah, because the mountain was placed on the back of the tortoise. Of course, there's Lord in the form of tortoise, in the form of kurma. So everything was the same, but we can see the results both groups performed the same amount of like hard work. Both of them got together and they worked equally hard. We can say actually the Asuras worked even a little bit more harder because they were subjected to the poisonous breath of Vasuki, because they were on which side, the tail side or the head side?
Head side.
They were on the head side of Vasuki, so that means they were subjected to more pain actually. While they were chaining the milk ocean. So, but we can see that the results were different. Isn't it true? Did both groups get the same result?
No.
No, the results, same activity, but the results are different. We see that in the school, like the first day of the school, one starts kindergarten or primary school, they start. And every student, the teachers are always asking, you go to any class, I remember those younger days, the teachers will always ask you, what do you want to become? Isn't it true?
Yes,
What do you
what's
want
your
to
goal?
become? What is the goal? What do you want to become when you grow up? And someone will say, I want to become a doctor. Someone will say, I want to become an engineer. Someone will say that I want to become a lawyer. And do you think that they all get what they want?
No.
No.
No. Because it's not only the effort. There's so many other factors which determine what you actually get. What result you get, actually, that depends on many, many factors. And the karma is also a factor. So, we should not be attached to the results. Karma dhyaksam cha manvana, he considered himself that he had the right to work. And then Atmanam Prakrite Param. Who is that Brahmani? Who is that absolute truth? He is also Paramatma. He is living in everyone's heart. But the thing is, Prakrite Param. What else he is? What's the other quality about the Lord? He is not
transcendental.
Transcendental.
Yeah, he's transcendental. He is above
the material modes of nature.
Modes of nature.
Above the three modes of material nature. So, phalam brahmani sanyasya nirvishangaha samahitaha karmadhyaksham cha manvana. They considered, and so who the brahmani sannyasa, giving up the results to the Lord, who's atmanam, who's also paramatma, and prakriti param. Is prakriti param. Is beyond the material nature. So that is what the verse says. So Prabhupada also writes a long purport, writing so many important things in the purport. So we can see also the first verse of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What does Lord Krishna say in the first verse of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Yes, anyone? Can anyone read the verse in the translation?
Anasrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti ya cha sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnena chakri.
You can read the translation, Prabhu.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obliged in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, and not who lights no fire or perform no duty. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So now one who does the activities and not attached is actually a sannyasi. And sannyasi is not someone who actually actually changes the clothes. Just by changing the clothes, you don't become a sannyasi. If you are in a wearing saffron clothes, and you still attached to material things, you are attached to money and fame and name and all these things, you are actually not a sannyasi. But even if you are a grihastha, as Prabhupada actually mentions, Prabhupada gives the example of who? Prabhupada gives
Amrish Maharaj?
Ambarish Maharaj is one of the examples. He was a grihastha, but he was greater than the sannyasi. Who was the sannyasi who had come?
Durvasa Muni?
Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni was a brahmana, number one. Number two, he was a sannyasi. Number three, he was even incarnation of Lord Shiva. So he was sannyasi, but Ambarish Maharaj was a
Devotee.
grihastha. And if you look at Durvasa Muni, he was a brahmana, and Ambarish Maharaj was a Kshatriya. But who is greater in that katha?
Amrish Maharaj.
Ambarish Maharaj. So even if one is a grihastha, if one is not attached, then he is as good as sannyasi. If someone is a sannyasi and still attached to all these things, actually is not a sannyasi. He might be dressing as a sannyasi, but not actually sannyasi. Just dress doesn't make you a sannyasi. Of course, dress is good. Like in our Vedic culture, dress is also important. But the thing is, the internal consciousness is more important than the dress. Ambarish Maharaj was so detached. And of course, we can see here, Prithu Maharaj is in the same category. Although he is a grihastha, he's not a sannyasi. He's a grihastha. But he is not at all attached to the results. Phalam Brahmani Sanyasya Nirvisanga. No attachment to the phala. Samahita Karmadhyaksham cha Manvana Atmanam Prakrite Param. Hare Krishna. So yes, anyone, any questions or comments? There's so much, of course, this Prabhupada's report is very long, but we don't have that much time to cover the whole purport. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam. Such a beautiful class, beautiful explanation of each and every word that takes us to the deep of devotion. So nicely explained and referring so many texts from Bhagavad Gita to exemplify the exact meaning of these words. So nice, so nice. So many things to learn about this particular text and mentioning the qualities of Prithu Maharaj. This is the mood of Prithu Maharaj, how he thought himself as the servant of the Lord. And though he is the proprietor of the whole universe, but he never thinks himself as the owner of that. And he dedicated all the fruits of his activities to the Lord only. That shows the real sannyasa, the prakriti of the person, how a king should be. So nicely explained. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Yes, so thank you so much, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandot Pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhu, I think it's just reminding me one verse of Bhagavad Gita again in chapter 2, verse 51. It's also saying the same thing, that karmajam buddhi yukta hi palam takta manishana janma bandha vinirmukta padam vachanti anamayam. And it is the only way of going to the Lord. If we remain attached to the results of the activities in whatever form it is, and what even the slightest of it that makes us attached to the results, and in other words, we remain in the circle of birth and death. We continue to remain there. once we get free from that, and that is the only way we can go back to Godhead. That is also the other thing which I have realized.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yes, very true. Yeah. Yes, very nice point. Yeah. Anything else? Anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, very nice class as always. Yeah, that point struck me, that important, that consciousness, inner consciousness is main important. And that is Nirvishanga, how you nicely described. Yeah, we should remember always this thing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So in Nir, we say like, Nir, this word is used even in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Nirmana moha jit sanga dosha. Nirman. Nirman means without man. And here it is
Nirvishanga.
Visanga. Visanga means attachment. Visanga means
Detachment.
now this is all means like great attachment.
Yeah.
Great attachment.
When ni, then detachment.
Yeah, then near Visanga. Near Visanga. Then becomes not attachment. Yeah. Anyone else? Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So what are some of the important things that you learned in this verse? Some of the other some important things, one or two important things. How do you think that if everyone actually follows Prithu Maharaj, like just this verse, how will the world be different?
Yeah, just do your activities. Never expect your results immediately. Leave it on the mercy of the Lord and our spiritual master, and just keep on doing your regular activities. That will help us to progress in the right mood in our life.
If everyone even follows, let's say, the part of this verse, if they don't give the results to Krishna, let's say even if they don't give the results to Krishna, because Lord Krishna is saying, Yat karosi yadasnasi yadyosi dadasi yat tapasyasi konte tat kurushva madarpanam. Everything you do it as an offering to me. Yat karosi, whatever you do, yat yosi dadasi, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you therapy you do, anything, you do it as an offering to me. But now let's say even if someone uses this part of this verse, half of this verse, for example, only half of this verse, which actually talks about Phalam Brahman, even Nirvisanga Samahita or Phalam and Karmadhyaksham Manvana, even if they don't offer the results to Krishna, for example, in this world, the world will be different, isn't it true? Because there's so much of anxiety, depression, all these problems. Why do you think there's so much of all this thing?
Because of attachment to the results of one's
attachment to the results, because they expect a certain result.
Yeah.
They're doing some activity and they expectation straight away that I'm getting into the grass light. This is expected. This has to be. This has to happen. I'm applying for a job. This has to happen. I should get the job. I'm the best applicant.
Also instant results.
Instant results. Everything instant. Everything instant in this world. They want. So if they even understand this result, this way, part of it, they will greatly benefit. At least most of the problems in this world will not be there. Of course, if they offer the results to Krishna, then that's the best, because then we know that they get spiritual results, they get transcendental results, and they can get free from the material existence. So those things will happen. But even if they don't do fully, at least giving up the result, that developing the culture of giving up the result, that's very important.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Madhav Govind. So, yes, this verse is very important, but in the material world,
Yes,
people are just doing opposite, especially in the corporate world. Everything is so result oriented. You have the KPI, key performance indicators. Before you start, the boss will give you the key performance indicators to achieve, and then you assess end of the year. Have you tracked against those performance indicators? So everything is result oriented, and they expect you to perform to get the result. But for us to ask them to just give up the result, just do your duty, going to be difficult. It goes against the grain of making profits. So this is the material world.
The thing is, the fact is, if you think about the results, then your performance is also affected. Even if they accept this in the corporate world, they will still do better. The employees will do better in their work because of attachment to the work. You're always thinking about the result. You're not actually performing. Your mind is not fully on that activity. That's a problem. Like, why do you think a doctor is not able to, perform a surgical operation on his own son or daughter?
Because of attachment.
Because attachment to the result. Because while doing the activity, the doctor is always thinking that what if the operation goes wrong? He's always attached to the activity. And that actually affects the performance. Similarly, if you are focused, you are doing your best. Like we can see that Jatayu did his best. Was he thinking about? He knew that he will most probably not be able to make it. He will not be able to defend Sitaji. But what did he do?
He tries his best.
He did his best. And that is what actually makes the results actually. If one does, even in this material world, in the corporate world, if they don't focus on the results and works, with determination, the results will be better actually. They will be able to achieve more. And also they will be free from all the problems that come as a result of being attached to the result. Because there's too much thinking every day, there's anxiety, and then as a result of anxiety, there's problems at house, problems with the family, and problems with the friends, problems with the colleagues, there's competition. I want to do more than you. Isn't it true? Even in spirituality, even sometimes, people are saying, I want to do more book distribution than another devotee. Well, you do your best. Whatever you get, you should be happy with it. Isn't it true?
Yes.
And you'll be happy. You'll just come home and sleep, nicely. Otherwise, there's so much, in the mind going on. Oh, why it didn't happen this way? Why should it have happened this way? Expectation, all this. Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Anything else?
Just to share one point, in our work culture, nowadays when some member comes very new, and within 2-3 days, we start the performance index as Nanda Braja Prabhu was telling. We always try to find out the index, performance index. And people are so nervous, and so they're looking at their face and their activity. We feel very sorry. But the management is like that. They want instant result. Do the performance reading within 3 to 4 days, and they should. So such expectation brings everything pulled down. That is what actually is. We don't give enough time to understand the process before that we expect the result.
Yes, the mind is always on the result. Yes. And that's what causes all the problems. Yes. So we should just focus on the activity, even in the material world, corporate world, anywhere. Most of the problems will be solved if people just do their best not worry about the results. Of course, they should do their best. That's important. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Radha Ki Hari Bhagwan Ki Jai Shri Ganesha Bhagwan
Ki Jai.
His Grace Madhav Prabhu ki Jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Kalpatarubhyascha
kripa
sindhubhyeva
sindhubhyeva
cha
patitanam
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Ananta Koti
Antakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur
Jai.
Prabhupada ki Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.